So yesterday we have seen all about what are the task force will be there, and inside that what are the subtasks we have, right? So there is in detail explanation about each task in this document. Okay, how to create a task flow and what is parallel task with the decision. I think you have an overview of all these task flows, right?
Ah, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll see about these uh, task flow step properties. So how we can make use of all this. These are entirely, it's like a depending on the, purely depending on the scenarios. Okay, so how you want to control the data flow of your mappings. Okay. So based on that only we will use this. It's just like simple, how we will write queries in SQL, right? So if you want to filter out records, if you want to make some conditions, so if you want to get the details of some particular tables or particular departments, so you will use functions and you will use write some conditional statements, right? In the same way, in
Yes,
ISS,
yes.
to control the data flow, we will use this. Okay, it's just like simple steps only. Once you go through this, right, theoretical part, then you can make use of these task flows. Okay, so
Okay.
So I'll just give a simple explanation. So where we can make use of these task flow steps. Okay. So let's assume you want to run a mapping. So before that, you need to check whether you have the data or not from the source. Okay. So you have a source here. So you created mapping and to load the data from source to target, and you have used some expression in between source and target. Okay. So this is the mapping empty underscore data load. So this is a mapping name you have, and you created a this is a mapping task. You created a mapping task for this mapping. Now by using task flows, you need to control this mapping task. So, okay. So first in mapping task, so you need to check whether the data is available or not. Okay. If the data is available on source, then only you need to run the mapping. So in ISS in real-time projects, you cannot after creating mapping, you will create a mapping task, and then you can just directly you cannot run the mapping task. Okay, in real time. So you should create a task flows. Okay, so there will be some scenarios will be there like some simple jobs. You can schedule the mapping task, or you can schedule the task flows as well. You can schedule this and you can schedule this as well. So most of the time we will be using task flows to run the jobs. So because in task flows we might be using some different mapping tasks as well, right? So we will be using both mapping tasks we'll be using and task flows also we will be using. So now let's see. So you need to check before whether the source is having data or not. If the data is not available, first you will start, right? So here data integration task you will be create, and inside this you will map the mapping task. Okay, first If the data is available here, okay, then run the it should run your mapping task. It should run your mapping task, and one notification it should send. Okay, and then end. If the data is not available at source itself, so what it has to do? It should send an email saying that data is not available. Notification had to send, and if it is required, you can wait for 3 minutes or 10 minutes and then recheck again. Recheck, wait 10 minutes, 10 minutes or 5 minutes or depending on the scenario. So after the waiting time is done, then again it has to check it. If the data is available, then it has to run and it load the data. Again, if the data is not available, then what it has to do? It has to throw an error like, so data is not available. Okay, it should stop the processing the job. Okay, this is one scenario. So here what you can use in this scenario. So here notification email we can use. Here also notification email you can use. So we can configure so and so email body, and we can give the email IDs, right, in this notification subtask. So here it has to wait, right? We can make use of wait event. So in that wait we can use how much time it has to wait. Okay, and if it is not at all, the data is not available at source even after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then the job should not run. Okay, it should throw an error with the notification. So here we what we have using here, notification we are using, wait event we are using, throw we are using. Okay, so here also we can use uh, after waiting time we have to use jump. So before this, here we can use jump subtask. So after 10 minutes, it should go to the first mapping task, right? So in jump, we will configure to which data task it has to go, either here or here. So it should go to the first, right? So that here it will check whether the data is available or not. So we can use jump. So this is also one subtask, step. Okay, we call it as these all task step. So this jump pro notifications and this end, these all are task steps. So jump again, it will go here, it will check if the data is available, then it will go in this way, in this path, and it will send out an email, and finally it will end the flow. Okay, clear on this?
Yeah.
Let's see how we can create this. So I have created two mappings here, data availability. Okay, so this is a task flow. So before this, I'll show you the mapping. Later, so simple mapping I have created here, data availability. So what is there in this mapping? I have taken source here. Okay, and the source table is trans details. I have taken filter here. So why I have taken filter here is, so I'll just make it as a false. So what will happen in filter if I take false? Here the source records will come to filter. Here it will check. By default I have given false. What will happen?
No records.
No records it will pass, right?
Yes.
So I'm not allowing any records from source to the target. So it will not load any records. Okay, this mapping I will use it as a data availability check. Okay, so next data load trans details. So here what I'm using, I'm just using simple load. Okay, from source I have taken trans details. Okay, this is the table and I'm loading into the target. Okay, t underscore detail. So this means this is a loading mapping task and this one
Zero
is a
loading.
not available mapping task. Okay, so the same mappings I'll take it here. So first start. So this is a what task flow which I'm using here is, it's a task flow. That's it. Okay. So in real time, we will take only this one task flow because it's like a customized. We can add any events or we can add any mapping task or any data transfer task. Okay. So it's like a custom. Based on our requirement, we will take any task steps and we can create a task flow. If there are any requirements, okay, sequentially want to run, parallelly want to run, all these we can create in task flow itself. It's not like you have to, if you want to run parallel tasks, you have to take this template. No, it's not like that. In task flow, you can create all these. Okay. So just for template purpose, they have created all this. So we can create all this in task flow. So what is this linear task flow? Yesterday, I didn't tell you this. So linear task flow is nothing but just adding all the mapping tasks. So it's like a it's like SQL task only, but there is a difference between linear and sequential task flow. So in linear, what it is showing here, list of tasks. You can just keep on adding all the tasks here, which you have created. Okay. So if I have a n number of tasks here, I want to run all the tasks, but the task should not be, mapping task should not have any differences. Okay. So in such scenarios, you can add n number of mapping tasks here. You can just add here. It will add in the list. So let's say I'm taking this one now. So it has added. Again, I will add one more. So in this way, you can add a number of tasks, mapping tasks. If you see here sequence, so in sequence it will run. And if this job got any errors, you can click on this stop on error or stop on warning. If any error or warning comes while running this mapping task, so what it will happen, right? It will stop the execution. Okay. Next, it will go to sequence 2. So it's depending on our mapping task. If you know there might be getting any errors or warnings, then you can make use of this. Okay, just save it and you can run this linear task directly. But here you see anywhere that you can make use of uh, these. Wait, it is- Can you use all these subtask task steps? Can you use in that
Yeah, we can use.
linear task? How you where you will use? Do you have anywhere option to select it? When you select linear, it's not opening you like designer.
Ah, okay.
correct? So we cannot make use of all these task steps.
Oh,
You
okay,
cannot
okay.
use wait, throw, jump. You cannot control the data flow basically. Okay. So what you can do, like it's like a running all the jobs in a sequential manner.
Okay.
Running all your mapping tasks in a sequential manner, but you cannot add any task steps. So that is the main difference between linear and task flows. Okay. So remember this. They will in interview they might be ask you on this task flows related. So now I have taken task flow and have creating this. Okay. So this is a custom. Wherever you want decision, wherever you want data task, okay, data ingestion task, wherever you want aggregator, wherever you want notification, wherever you want, you can make use of this. If you select a task flow, okay, coming back to scenario. So here I have selected data availability mapping task. Okay, so this is a mapping task which I have taken. So if you want to handle errors, like I said, if there is any error occurs while running that, you can control here on error handling. If you get warnings, you can ignore it. On error, suspend task. Suspend task is it will stop the error. Fail task flow on completion. So what is this? Fail task flow on completion. So fail task flow on completion is nothing but when all the process is completed till end. Okay. So completion is nothing but entire flow is completed, but you got this mapping task it not ran. It didn't run. Okay. Due to errors, I have suspended task flow. So it got failed. So what it will happen? It will go to otherwise, right? And it will go and it executes all these task steps. At the end, I should not get this task flow status as sorry, task flow status as success. I should not get it. I should get it as a fail. So if you want to handle in such scenarios, you have to make use of these options. Fail task flow on completion. If this task fails, at the end I should get a this task flow status as failed. Okay. If the task doesn't run, it ran first before it ran due to errors, it got failed. So I have selected this. But now is if this task doesn't run, if this task is at all not running, okay. So in such scenarios also you can fail the entire status flow status as fail. So these are all the options. We will use this if task fails. If this task fails, we will most of the time we will use this option only. Okay, for every job. If there are any dependency jobs, if there are definitely we have to use this because let's say to run this job, this is a dependency job. So this job should run. Definitely it has to succeed at. Then only we can run this. Then we can load the whatever the dependency or the condition based on the condition we will load into the data here, right? So this job should run. So you need to make sure that if this task fails, it should stop the entire flow. Or you need to get a notification this task has been failed. So that you can come and check here. So this job, why it is job failed and whether this job is run or not. So you can check all the steps here. Clear? So this is how error handling. You need to handle the error.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So now I have taken this. Then I have taken a decision. Okay. To run the data availability, data transfer load, before that I need to check the whether the data is available or not, right? So here I'm making the decision. So what I'm taking here in the decision. So I have taken field or formula. I have taken field M data availability. So this is the mapping name, mapping task name. Okay, if you select field, you will get something like this. If you click on this, you will get like this. Okay, so this is the data mapping task one, mapping task two. So you just click on this, you can get all the properties. Okay, in that way, I selected output parameters, success rows. Success rows greater than zero. Greater than zero in the sense which is nothing but data is available.
Data is there.
Okay, so if it is not there, it will go to the part two. Okay, when you take decision, you will get two paths, path one and path two. In path one, I have taken as a notification, success notification task. So what is the condition here I'm using? Greater than zero. If it is greater than zero, so I need to get an email. So data is available, proceeding with data load. Okay. If you want to write content, you can write it here. So this is the data available, right? So output parameters, success rows. So you can just take the count of success rows. Proceeding with the data load. Okay, in this way you can write it. Okay, if the data is available, then this will go, notification will get, then it will run the second data loading mapping task, and then it will end. Okay, let's say if the data is not available, then it will go to the otherwise. So it will go to otherwise. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taken an assignment task step. So I want to count it like three times I need to check. Okay, three times or four times or five times. So based on the project, you can count here. So let's say I want to check for three times this this mapping task. Okay, so to count it, first you need to get an output field. So if you go to select here, output fields is there, right? Here I just created one output field. You just click on plus, you will get one field. Okay, name is count, type is integer because I want to count, right? So I need to type is an integer, initial value is 0. Okay, I just taken one output field here so that if you come here, you will get an option there. So based on which column you need to count. So here count, just click on plus. Here you can see count output variable, right? So for that purpose, we have to create a output field on the start button. So now I got output. So what I've taken is field is account. It's like a formula. So here I have given the formula. Just click on this add, you'll get this. Okay. Plus one. I'm just incrementing it. So clear on this assignment task.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So next is I have taken notification. What is there in this notification? Data is not available in the source table. Checking after 1 minute. Okay. Then decision two. So less than three I have taken. So less than three is nothing but I am checking for three times here. So this data availability I'm checking 3 times. Okay, in the decision 2, here I'm checking 3 times. Path 1, path 2. So first time I want to check. So less than 1 for the first time I'll check, right? So for the first time when data is not available, I need to wait for some time. So here wait, I've taken wait. It's like 1 minute. You click on this, you'll get seconds, minutes, hours, space. Okay. Let's say I'll wait for 10 seconds. Okay. So 10 seconds I'm waiting. After that, what I have to do? Here I have used jump. So where I need to jump? To M data availability. The first mapping task. Here you will get all the task steps which we created before. So this is the mapping task 1, mapping task 2. Where I need to jump to the first mapping task. Okay. So here I need to jump. If you see, you will get a jump symbol here. So which is nothing but wherever you see this symbol on your mapping task, which is nothing but we are using jump task in your task flow.
How you attach that jump clip there? The box.
This one,
Yes, yes.
you'll just drag and drop. That's it. All you just drag and drop here. Okay, it will show like this. This is jump, right? So I'm just dragging it and placing it here in this way. If you drop here, you'll get option to where. So you need to select the respective mapping task. Got it?
Okay, okay.
So to M data availability. So by default, you will get a symbol on this mapping task. Okay. So less
How
than
I
3.
can how I can move that symbol from
No,
first task?
you will not able to move. By default, will create here.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay.
So when you define the mapping task here, so now you see here, do you see any jump symbol on this mapping
No,
task 2?
no.
Right. Now you will see, see 1, 2, I got it.
Okay, okay. Now I got it.
One
Yeah.
is not available. Okay. So now I'll take on 1. So I'm jumping to the first mapping. After 3 times I'm waiting, even though the data is not available, then what I have to do? I need to go to otherwise. Here, take throw and drop here. So throw an error. What is the fault? So here you will get by default field names, code, detail, reason. So code. So what I'm taking, it is a content. Okay. So data availability here. So you need to select this code. Okay. So you will get a email. Okay. So here we will be getting the count as well. So for the first time, you will get 1. For the second time, 2. For the third time, 3. After 3, what will happen? It will uh, throw an error. So for that also, you can make use of your notification. No, your notification is not required. Throw in the sense, by default, the task flow it will get failed. Okay, and you will get this response. It's like how we will see session log, right? When we run the mapping or mapping task, there you will get error message. So in that way, same we will get code message here. So what is the error? That we can see here. So clear on this? So how many task steps we have used here? Notification we used, aggregator. So this are assignment task we used. So decision, wait, throw, jump, and then we have end, start. Okay, and you see that command and then file words, decision, parallel, jump, throw, wait, end. Okay, so we covered all this in one scenario. So now what I'll do, I'll save it. So this is a table, right? So now what I'll do, let me run this. Please. You tell me if I run this, what will happen? Hmm? Anwar? Mic not good. Can you hear me or not? Okay, let me run this and see in which path it will select. Which path it will select. Okay. Run. Click on this. You can see the status here. So it went to data availability, and we should be getting an email, and it is started loading the data now. Okay, so it is done. Done. It got ended. So it is succeeded. Now if you see here in the target, so the data has been loaded. Okay. So let's see if the data is not available. So for that, what we have to do? So let me truncate this. Okay, we have a unique constants. So let us check that email. So should I get the, so we got the email, right? So data is available, proceeding with the data load. So data is available, proceeding with the data load. Success rows 101. So thanks ETL. What is all PPP we are getting? Should not come. So on this success, so details, data is available. A bit why we are getting P here. Yes, HTML. So let me run again. So I got email again. Yeah, now we are getting proper. Okay, so if you select HTML, you will get it in this here. So data is already proceeding with the data. Success process 1 or 2. Okay. So just select. So now I need to truncate this, but what I'll do, I'll create one mapping for data not available. Source I'll take, and then decision 2 less than 3 count. So wait for 3 and wait for 10 seconds, and or else if the data time not available, then you could throw error or change to this. Okay, now save it. So now what I'll do, I'll truncate this. Okay, first table. So this is I've used, right? So I'll truncate this one. Okay. So now we don't have any data on the source. So if I run now, it should go to the otherwise decision. Run it. Okay, now it is running. So it went to decision. So decision succeeded. Again it went here. I think we have taken another data. We might have taken the same mapping task here. Let me see. Take another to 0 here. Yeah, we have taken the same data. Same mapping we have taken. That's why you have interested. I didn't created a mapping itself. Employee data. Yeah. Can save this. So just same data. The decision is we need to take employee data output parameter success rows. So greater than 0, it will go to here, or else it will go here. Save it. Now it is showing valid. Yeah, this is okay. So now I change this mapping task and truncated. So in source we don't have any data. Now it should send it. It should go to the otherwise path, and we should get an email, and we should get 3 emails. Okay, with the count as well. Count 1, count 2, count 3, and then it should throw an error. Should stop the execution. So let's run this. Okay, we will see here email notifications. So if you want to know status of this job here, now it is in decision, right? See, now it went to otherwise path, it has taken count, and it is still in waiting state. So if you refresh, it will be in waiting state. Now one time it has waited. We'll see the email, whether we get an email or not. So we got an email as well. So count is 1. Okay. So one time it has waited. We got one more. Count is 2. And we should get one more email. So we got one more. Count is 3. So now if you see the status here, it should stop. So it will come here pro. Okay. Now the task has been failed. You see the job is has been failed now. So it checked 3 times whether the data is available or not. And then waiting period is done. But the first time after waiting, it will jump to the first mapping task. So in that way, 3 times it has went this in the same path. And after 3 times also the data is not available. Then it failed the task flow. Okay. So if you see, give substance, you see we got 0, 0. So it's not loaded any records. 3 times it has checked. Finally, it is failed the job. Clear? We got 3 emails as well. So if I do the data right. So I think you got it right. When we have the data, in which path it is going. When we don't have the data, in which path it is going. Clear? What we'll do now? We'll take one more scenario. So you have a from upstream you will get the files, right? So let's assume that you have an upstream team. Upstream team A and then downstream team B. Okay. So they are running here jobs. Task flow 1, task flow 2. So the thing here is, and you are in you are monitoring the IICS jobs, okay, or you are developing the mappings here. So to get the data, and you have developed this task flow 2, and so you need to get the data from team A. Okay, from upstream you need to get the data, and then after you receiving the data from team A, then you need to run the your task flow. So how we can make sure the how that whether the team A job is completed. So they will not every time they will send out an email like, so we ran the job. It's not like that. So they will be maintaining the scheduled jobs. We will be maintaining the scheduled jobs. So there is no manual way. So manual way should not be there. Okay, it should be all in a automatic. So they will create their mappings in such a way that so once their job is executed, okay, so they should inform us. How they can inform us? So they need to trigger one indicator file. So they should trigger one file. So let's say this touch.txt. So if it is a Unix, so they have to write script, right? They should write one script. So once the job is completed, how they will write it after? So in mapping, you will get on the target side, you will get pre-session, post-session commands, right? So on the post-session command, they will create the script. So once the job is completed, they will write this script in such a way that to just create one dummy file. Okay, this dummy file they need to create it. So in this script, they will create they will take host, right? Host details, port, and then path details, cd underscore path. So here they will give touch.txt. So in this way, they will create a script. Okay, host is nothing but our server host name. So they will log into our server. They will go to the respective path, cd, and then the path details they will give. Under that path, they will give a touch file dot touch.txt. This is a dummy file, which is nothing but they are indicating our job is ran. So then you can proceed with your job data load. Okay, in that way they will create a job. They create a scripts. So if it is a Unix, it has to be .sh. If it is Windows, it is a batch file. They need to create one batch file, right? So in command, they are with using command batch file. So we need to write here something like echo and then path details, then file. So if it is a Windows system, they have to write this batch script. If it is a Unix system, they have to write a shell script. So based on the secure agent on which machine it has been installed. So based on that, they need to write the scripts here. Okay. So it's a since it is our local system, right? Let's see how we can create a batch file. Okay. So that the team one. So every day at 8 a.m. they are running the jobs. Okay. So after 8 a.m. we should get an email as well as we have to get a file, this indicator file. So after 8 a.m. we should get an indicator file, and then here also you can make use of these wait task steps. Okay. So after 8 a.m. still you haven't got till you can check like till 8:10 p.m. So till if you don't receive the file, then you can throw the error and you can create a notification. So and so you can send out an email to the team A, upstream team A. So then they will check and they will rerun their jobs. Okay. So in that way you can create a task flow. Okay. Let's see how we can do this. Okay. So go to new task flow. I'll take this task flow. So I'll take one data integration. What we need to create here. So first team A should send out an email. Okay. So after that, what I have to do is I'll take first we'll create some commands. Okay, so in source files I have these commands. Okay, this is one command dot batch. This is a batch file. So what I'm doing is I'm creating one touch file in the source files in this directory. Okay, so this is a command which we'll use for the Windows machine. You can get all these commands if you just Google it. You will get a number of commands you will get. So here I'm using to create a file. Echo is nothing but it will create a file in this directory, source files directory. So if you want to check whether this command is working or not, what you can do, go to command. Okay, just paste this command, copy, paste here. If you go here, do you see anywhere the file name touch.txt in this? I don't see anywhere. With the T letter, I see only trans data. Okay, so I don't see anywhere touch.txt file. So if I run this, it's completed. Just refresh here. So you get touch file. Okay, so echo is on. It's just that it's an indication file. So once the job is ran, it should trigger the indicator file. Okay, so this we can use here. So the first mapping, let's assume this it is a team A. Team A. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll select data availability mapping task only. What I'll do, I'll just select only this data availability. I'll select this custom details. Okay, so next, what I have to do, I need to create file, right? So in this command task, so command task input, you need to select all this. Okay, failed task, if any script fails, you just enable this runtime environment, local one, max wait seconds. So we can just give 10 seconds. Okay, so here we have a scripts. If you click on this, so you get all the content here. Script file name, here you should give the entire path. This slash, so this is the one, right, which I'm using. Control C dot back. Okay, so and that's it. Okay, so these are all you need to mention. So this is script one. So what it will do, it will create a touch file. Once the job is succeeded here, once this job has been succeeded, then it will create a touch file, so that it will so after touch file we need to send out an email. So go to no email, success email, details, subject content, what you can give here, dealing with job has been explicitly done, proceed with your data load. Okay, proceed with the data load. If you want, you can edit here, you can take all the status details, writing success rows. This is from team here, right? So team A. So how many successfuls has been generated? So you can take the count, and if you want to take the indicator file notification as well, you can go here of the parameters. So what you can do is execution status. You can take execution status here. Indicator file status. ETL TVA. Okay. So now email has been configured. So after this, what we have to do? So we got the indicator file and email has been generated. So now we need to proceed with the next data load. Here you can take manual mapping task. Okay. So this is one mapping. Or else you can just take. Okay. This is related to team B. This mapping. Okay. Team B. So we have taken this. To do error handling, you can enable all these options. So now we got email and we are triggering it. Okay. So after triggering, so if you want to send out an email notification, no. So first what you need to do, once they send out an email, so what we discussed here, okay, they have created the file. Okay, and we got the email. But we need to check, right? So we need to check whether the file is available in our respective directory or not. So how we can check that? So for that you need to create a file listener, file watcher task. Here if we go here, so we have a file watch, right? So before running, we need to make sure whether the file is arrived in our source file directory or not. Okay. So if we click on this file watch task, we don't see any file watch here. Why? Because of first we need to create the component. If you see here, this component you might have seen the file watcher, file listener. Okay, first we need to create this component. So create. So what you can do? Upstream team A file check. Okay, source type. So connector or server. If you want to check in your local machine, local path, then you can go with connector. Or you want to check in some servers level, then you can go with server. Okay, since it is a local machine, I will check connector connection type. So it's a local folder. So here you need to mention all the path details. Okay, so this path you need to check, take here. Okay, so pattern, you can select the pattern as well. So what is your file pattern? Either it is a wildcard is nothing but it's a star. It will check all patterns. Wildcard is nothing but any pattern it will check. So it is a indicator file, right? Indicator file touch.txt. So this is the file we are expecting from the upstream team. Here you can mention the patterns as well, like star. So after touch, after star, star is nothing but here you can get anything. But the main part pattern you are looking for is touch.txt. So if you are looking in such patterns, you can give star and then the file. If you know the specific file name, then you can directly give the file name here. Okay, you can directly give here and then check for files in subfolder. If you give source files and you need some another folder is there. In subfolder, you are creating that, you are expecting that file. So if you want to check that, here you can enable it. And then post action. What is this post action? So here we got the file. Okay. So before you are proceeding with that, so what you need to do? You need to delete it. Okay. You don't want to keep the touch file every time because every day you are getting the touch file.txt file from the upstream, right? So today you received it. So before running task flow 2, so you are checking this touch file, either it is available or not. If it is available, you need to delete it. Why you need to delete it? On the next day, you will get the same file in the same directory. Okay. So if you don't delete it, let's assume uh, they haven't ran this job on the next day on 8 a.m. due to some issues. They send out an email us. Okay. But we forgot to hold this job. If you don't hold right, so what it will do, this task flow, by default, it will check the file name on this directory. If the file is available, it will start running this job. So that is wrong. So for that, what we are doing here is post action, I'll delete it. Once I verified, once I came to know that the touch.txt file is available in this directory, then I'll delete it. Okay. So if you want to hear it schedule, check every 50 seconds, it will check. Notify when file arrives. So check file strategy. These are like notifications. So these are all our options. If you want, you can go with this. So indicator files. So what I'm doing, I'm just deleting it. So I'll save it. So now if you click on this, you will get the option. Now you can see the file watch option. Okay. Upstream. Select. Just give me a. So now, so this file watcher, it will watch the file. Okay. So you are clear till here. So now we are checking the file. If the file is available, then we have to go to run the, we have to proceed the data. Then it is end. Okay. So this is one. Save it. Refresh. So we don't have any text files here, right? Okay. So I'll run this. Whatever I get. So now it is with upstream here. So this command is executed, success email sent, then it is waiting here. So let's see, do we get any file here? So we got touch file, right? So it is file is listening now. So it's verifying the file. It's still waiting. You miss any like format, right? It will stop here itself. File watch default location and file living the input fields. It's after 5 seconds. Enter this. So what I'm doing is, if the file is not available, and then I'm interrupting. Let's save this. Let me see. This is still running. Okay. So might be error is there. So I'll just stop it. So I failed this one. So where it is upstream file here. Okay. So here it is failed. So what we have given here, touch.txt. It is not found it. Touch is here. Let me know what I'll do here. So I'll just give touch. Okay. Let's see now. Delete this. Close this. Go here. Select again. Okay. Now it is reflecting. Select this. Okay. In the events I am selecting after 5 seconds. If it is not received, it should interrupt the flow. Okay. Save it. This is not able to select. It is going to start button. Okay, let it be like that. Just turn them. So now it is running. So command task has been executed and it is waiting. So it is nothing but it is not able to identify the file. So we have created only this source file. That's we got indicator file. Again, it is going back to this. Okay, what I'll do. So we have to take a decision. Decision, what I'll do. Check the file also and put file event type. Okay, so I'll explain this in some other session. Okay, so now it is getting time now. So let it be like this. So what I am to say is, you can make use of these task steps based on your scenario. So however you want to. So what I'll do is I'll give you a scenario like so. Now this is a job one, right? Upstream A. So once they run this job, so you should create a touch file and you need to get a file notification. Okay. If the file is not available, so what you have to do? So you try to create this one. First one is if team A touch file is not available, job should terminate. So if it is not available, so the first thing is what you need to do, wait for file arrival. Okay. And the second is job should terminate. Here you can wait for like 10 seconds. So how many times? Three times. Three times you need to check or else terminate it. Second is if team A job ran and file file generated. So then what you have to do? So you need to check the file and then run team B. So if the file is available, then send email to team B about file arrival. Okay. So you need to send an email to team B. The file has been arrived and proceeding with the data load. So run team B. After this, send email to team B about job status. Okay. So how many scenarios we covered here? Yeah, I think whatever we discussed here, right? You can make use of all those task steps in this scenario. Okay. You try to create this one and let's see if you get any. So, I think it will be in recording. You try to take that. Okay.